around the rubble of road construction. We avoid the curves, the dips in the road, and the dust of our lives in conversation. We quickly reroute to safe territory or take the quickest exit to keep us safe from answering the bigger question. It's like we want others to pay attention, but not so closely that they ask us about the real stuff, the personal stuff. It's a long story, so who would even want to listen to it stuff? Beyond getting really honest about the things that might not be okay, we stifle the things that make us come alive. It's like we all end up chattering about on this banged up planet, carrying these big dreams and audacious goals and boundary breaking ideas, and we keep them quiet. All throughout the week, in the checkout line, on the conference call, around the dinner table, we are walking around with wild parts of ourselves left unspoken. But have you ever felt the feeling that comes when you cut the fluff, get past the small stuff, and are asked, "How are you, really?" Just the addition of that one precious word, that small invitation to cut the crap and stop with the niceties and be real with yourself and whoever is brave enough to ask it, it feels like a gulp of oxygen, like coming to the surface and seeing the light again. So why don't we do this every moment we can? What are we running from, drowning out, and keeping under lock and key? The answer. The truth is, we're scared of what might come out if we pause to pose the question with honesty, not only to the people in our lives, but to ourselves. We're scared of what we'd hear if we got quiet enough to ask ourselves the questions that matter. Is there more out there? Is this it? Am I actually happy? What now? What's next? What's wrong? When these questions come to the surface, most of us shove them back down, grab the smoothie, run out the door, and get on with our day, keeping ourselves busy so we don't actually pause long enough to have to sit with the responses. But the answers to our deep questions somehow find their way into our lives. They return to us in the middle of the night or when we're driving to that thing we wish we hadn't committed to. They come after the toddler spills the Cheerios on the floor or the teenager rolls her eyes for the 17th time that day. And like we've been conditioned to do, we just keep going, keep pushing, keep smiling, and keep reminding ourselves that we are lucky, we are blessed, and we should be thankful. That same old song with the cheap lyrics, we tell ourselves so many others have it far worse than us. Or it's probably our fault, we aren't content or happy, and we should just choose joy, like the coffee mugs and water bottles say. Listen, not every feeling is a choice, as if life is simply a menu of delicious options and we just need to choose. As if the world isn't burning and the oceans aren't rising, as if our pain can't exist because others have pain too. As if accessing more difficult, complex emotions like sadness, discontent, or futility means we're doing this all wrong. Hear me loud and clear? It doesn't. There will be times in our lives where joy is not an emotion we can access in the moment. And in those times, the goal isn't just to choose it. The choice we do have is to ask ourselves when we last felt it and to dig hard for that answer. But when we shame ourselves for not choosing the convenient response, #blessed, or for not displaying what we think is a socially acceptable response to whatever situation we're in, we distract from the real work. We try to outrun the longings, try to forget about our wants, try to silence every deep doubt and deeper dream, or we reach for whatever might numb the feelings we can't silence. Because sometimes seeking out the answers becomes too painful, especially when we think we have to ask them in the shadows where we won't bother anyone, where no one can hear that we're actually admitting we're not happy or that life hasn't turned out how we thought it would. How many times have we woken up at 3 a.m., mind racing with hundreds of these unacknowledged responses pinging in our brains? It's like that error we get when we send a text and whatever wizard it is that runs the magical cloud these days bounces us right back to earth. Message failed to send. The times we didn't ask for what we needed, the times when we weren't honest about our boundaries, the times we pretended we weren't in pain, the times we felt shame for still being in pain, the times when we didn't apologize.